Hi, I'm Pete Friedman. I'm here with Ron
Kazakowski.
Kazakowski. Well, I'm here with Ron Kazakowski, and it's a twist in the tongue there. We'll get it right sooner or later. I need practice. But I'm here because Ron sells Filipino swords. He sells the best on the market, and I have about 10 of them or 12 of them. And I'm hiding a few extra on my wife she doesn't know about. Anyways, I'm going to interview Ron. Ron, why don't you interview yourself? I mean, say hi.
Hello, everybody.
Tell who you are.
I'm Ron Kazakowski, owner of Practical Self-Defense Training Center in Waterbury, Connecticut, and TraditionalFilipinoWeapons.com. And I guess I'm supposed to be saying more stuff, so...
Okay. This is a great interview. He talks a lot. All right. So, Ron, why'd you come here today?
Well, seems like I've known you for many years on the internet, and we finally got together. And I've been, you kind of aroused my curiosity of getting everybody together with no politics and just everybody being friendly and seeing a bunch of other martial artists that have similar interests. And this is kind of cool. I couldn't wait to get here, actually.
Yeah. I couldn't wait to have you. I've been waiting for years to get you here. So today you brought some swords. What kind of swords did you bring? Where are they from?
Well, they're all made in the Philippines. They're made in Luzon, and I got some friends out there that make them. And I export some very high quality steels to them to make these swords, and they make them the ancient traditional way. The sheaths are all made of wood. The handles are made of the iron woods of the Philippines, and we have the best thing going right now with all the different. We've been doing a lot of research to try to get up all the different ancient designs and trying to bring them back to life, because a lot of the ancient designs you can't find anymore.
I'm really glad you're doing that, because it seems like, this is sad that I'm going to say this, but it seems like nobody cares about history anymore. It just seems like people just want things fast and quick. They want cut-out things. They don't care about the history, instead of learning about the history, how it developed, where it comes from, what kind of steels it's used. Is it high carbon, low carbon, whatever. But I'm glad you're doing what you're doing. And you also have, you teach martial arts as well. What kind of martial arts do you teach?
Okay, well, I've been in martial arts since 1967. I started. I've been doing. I started off with a karate style called Tang Soo Do way back when, and then in the mid '70s I went into a Filipino martial art called Kung Tao, and I got a lot of interest in Filipino martial arts from there. So I started doing more research. I went into Arnis and. Learned from Dan Anasanto, also Remy Precious. I started off with, I met him back in the late 70s, and then I went to see Dan Anasanto, Larry Hartzell, Paul Vunak, and Chisegger Solite, and of course Leo Gahe, and I'm actually doing very well with Leo Gahe and his system right now, and I just love all different types of martial arts. I teach basically also Jeet Kune Do. I got 3 different certifications in Jeet Kune Do. I teach Muay Thai. I have my grappling system I call integrated grappling systems, because I've done a lot of research in a lot of grappling systems, and I find where one is missing a piece, the other one fills that void, and that makes our MMA program with the Jeet Kune Do, Muay Thai, and integrated grappling systems. And
I realize that not one system is complete.
Yeah.
And sometimes, I'm talking just from my own personal, what I've experienced. I'm not talking about any martial. I'm just telling you from my experience. The martial arts that I have studied, it seems like each one of them had like a little gap.
Yeah.
And then you'd look over here, and there was, in this martial art, it fills that little void of a gap. And you're like, wow. So now this, whatever it is you're doing here now is better. It's stronger. It's healthier. Let's call it healthier, okay? Then you look over here, and there's another thing that fills another gap. And you're like, wow, now you add that in, and it's healthier. So now your martial art's becoming more healthy. And I notice the more healthier your martial art is, the more the mind becomes calm.
Oh, yeah.
And the more the spirit. Have you noticed that martial arts have calmed you down throughout the years?
Of course, yeah. I mean, when you're younger, not that I'm old, but I'm just saying, when you're younger, you want to just fight and, test your martial art. But after a while, after you do fight, it kind of, gets it gets that out of you where now you start teaching people and you produce fighters, and you know you've seen the success maybe they've had in the military or in the police, or you know, students have had fighting, and it's definitely a calming, a good feeling, kind of what I like to call, we're an artist creating a sculpture.
Yeah,
you know,
that's right.
right at this point.
Well, I always tell my students, you know, you're doing a martial art, but you're an artist. It's just you're doing the martial art. You're going to create with what it is that you're learning.
Yes.
So in other words, every one of my students looks completely different.
Yeah.
They all have their own way of doing things, and I feel that's the way martial arts should be.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, definitely. I mean, martial art in ancient times was created for the individual anyway. So that's what it's supposed to be. That's why you're given various different options and various different styles.
Yeah.
You know, it's supposed to fit whatever size the individual is. I know Bruce Lee came out with that in Jeet Kune Do, but it's not actually a new idea made by Bruce Lee. It's an old idea that he just brought back to life again.
Yeah. Well, I know in my Ketsugo Jiu-Jitsu, Ketsugo is a Japanese word that means combine, blend, mix, put together. And so, but what we put together are concepts and principles that we gather from different martial arts. A lot of people don't understand that. They think the Ketsugo is actually a style or a system. It's not. It's a concept of blending, and I think all martial arts were that way at one point. Today, that's why I like it here. There's no politics. Everybody can kind of do what they want and share what they have, and nobody is going to get upset. You know?
Exactly.
I mean, do you feel that way here? I mean,
I've got a very good vibe here with everybody. I mean, this is fun. I got to meet a lot of people on Facebook, and now I'm actually putting a face to it, so it does make it a lot easier.
I know Facebook did a lot for me as well too.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, but I recommend martial art for everybody. You know, I mean, it's something that is, everybody's got to get off the couch and have an outlet. And I mean, people are frustrated. There's high divorce rate, frustration rate, crazy, and have to have a beer or a joint or something to calm down. I mean, I think to me it's like okay, you do martial arts, it gives you that outlet. You don't get frustrated. It takes away the day's problems, and a place to go where all you could focus on is the science of that martial art itself. And a place to train, and working out just raises your what is it, your endorphin level anyway. So it helps.
I know that does it for me. When I get upset, if I work out, it just calms me right down.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Well, I guess that's it, and we're going to end this interview, because we have more people to interview. But I want to thank you for coming.
Yeah, and thank you for inviting me.
And I hope you come back. I hope you come back next year.
No, we're definitely going to come back next year. Definitely.
And bring more swords.
Okay, definitely will. They went quick this year.
All right. So I'm Pete Friedman, and I'm signing off. Goodbye.